On this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast, we're talking about the band Hot Water Music. This may have been the episode where I finally hurt Kyle's feelings, as this is a band that I was not very familiar with, and in the end, I came to the conclusion that they're just okay. But they're very nostalgic for Kyle, and he claims that Chuck Ragan can do no wrong. I'm curious to know where you all stand with Hot Water, but for now, let's open this pit up.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I am Kyle, and I'm here with Trevor. And Josh decided to not join.
Because of taxes.
Because of taxes. All right.
Because of taxes.
Blame the government for Josh not joining.
The government sucks for everything, so why not? Why not ruin a podcast while they're at it, right?
Seriously. It's not like we're making money off this, you know? We don't need taxes. So how you been?
Good, man. Well, kids got strep throat, so I'm taking an antibiotic now. Dude, it's every week, man. It's just nonstop.
I know.
So
dude, my kids are fine. We're good.
You got next week, man.
I'm sure. I'm sure I do. Yeah, sucks. Strep. At least strep's like treatable though.
The one thing about strep is like you get it and you feel crappy for a day. As soon as you have an antibiotic in you, you're feeling pretty good. And you're not really contagious, so you're just treating the cough more than anything. So
yeah. Well, I hope they get feeling better. That sucks.
I mean, they went to school today, so they're fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. So it's spring break for us down here, and it's been like 80 degrees and amazing. We went down to San Antonio for the weekend and stuff.
Okay, let's talk about this though. All right. Was this trip you spent with your family and friends really worth it when NSF weekend was right in your backyard?
I mean, we'd booked this trip before that was announced, so
doesn't matter. Did you see the videos?
Yeah, dude, it looked dope. Like all the dates looked dope. So
it looked so sick. Did you see the one of Colin Young in Twitching Tongues where he's like moshing and he falls over on the stage?
Yeah. The festival looked amazing, and honestly don't know what I'm going to be able to see Incendiary again. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think they do like big countrywide tours, you know?
Right. But dude, it looks so good. It looks so fun.
Even some of the bands you wouldn't really think, because I think at this point everybody knows like Twitching Tongues and God's Hate and stuff like that, right? They're huge. Even Incendiary is pretty big, but like Conservative Military Image, those guys are wild. Yeah. I would have loved to see them, you know?
The venue was kind of funky.
Which one?
Whatever one Twitching Tongues was playing at.
They did 3 dates. They did Dallas on Saturday. They did Austin on Sunday, and then they did Houston, I think, on Monday, but Incendiary didn't play that.
Oh, I gotcha. I'd have to look up and see which one it was, but it was kind of weird. It was like a covered stage, but then there was also seating in the back, but it was like only like partially covered.
Was there a staircase?
I don't know. I can't tell from the video I was watching. It was just weird because it was right next to a road. There's people like walking up and down the road, and you could just hear like Twitchy Tongues blasting throughout.
Yeah, that's probably the one in Austin. The one up in Denton is like in the back of a large, like not larger, but like a building. It's like the backyard area. That has a stage, but it's all closed off. So
yeah, I don't know. This was weird. It looked freaking awesome, but it was a funky looking venue. So I'll have to look up and see which one it was.
But no, dude, it looked amazing, and I'm super jelly that I couldn't go. So
yeah, hope those memories with your kids were worth it.
Those dang kids. No, dude, we had a good time. It was fun. San Antonio was cool. We ate some good food. So I was gonna play golf at this place down there, but it was $350 a person. I don't think I like anything enough to spend $350 for a one-time thing.
It depends. Like, I'd probably do it. I'm a pretty big golfer. It'd have to be the right course, though. It's not just going to be any random course kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. We're spoiled.
You would spend $350.
I mean, okay, you know me and my family, right? Me and my dad, we golf a lot. So it would have to be a time where,
$350.
listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. We're spoiled
You're
here in
saying you're
Utah.
getting mad at me. You're getting mad at me about going to San Antonio for a weekend. You're spending $350 on a golf, like shooting golf. I don't know what you call it. Freaking
Yeah.
golf, dude.
But no, man, I probably would. It would just be the right course, though. It's just not a random thing I'm dropping money on. But
I would never, especially golf. But I can't think of anything else that I would spend $350 for a one time, like 4 hour, 3 hour thing. You know.
yeah, I don't know. I do. I do.
Anyways, some good new music out. The new Stretch Armstrong album. I'm freaking obsessed with it. It is so freaking good. Did you listen to it?
I did. Yeah. It was really good. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I've listened to Stretch Armstrong, not a ton. And so putting it on, it was great. It was awesome. So I
It's
expect that a lot of it will be played at Furnace Fest,
yeah.
which will be sick.
It's kind of a unique sound. It feels like they mashed up a bunch of different sounds because there's some songs that are very like skate punk sounding, and then some that are like southern chaotic riffs, and
Yeah.
other that's like just like traditional hardcore. Like I don't know. It was really cool. Like you never really knew which way they were going, but I was a huge fan of it. So
Yeah. No, I liked it. That was a good recommendation. I did see Black Dahlia's finishing up a new record.
oh, that's sick.
Did you see that?
So who's doing the vocals now?
Their guitarist took over vocals and then they grabbed a new
Okay.
guitarist. So they tried to, when Trevor Strand died, they didn't want to replace him. They wanted to keep it all within who is currently in Black Dahlia. So that's why the one guy just moved over. It's going to be super interesting to see. I've seen live videos with him and he sounds really good. I don't know if it's going to be Black Dahlia though without hearing Trevor's
Yeah.
vocals on there.
Yeah. When they toured, what was it, last year or the year before with Terror?
I think they've done a couple. I think that one, I don't remember. Maybe that was just last year. It was last year, right?
I don't know. I knew a guy that went to it and said that like if you didn't know, you would have known. Like if you didn't know that the original singer had passed, you wouldn't have known that it was a different guy up there.
Really?
Whether that's him just in the moment feeling that way because he loves the band and he was excited for it or whatever. But I don't know. It's optimistic hearing that, right? In about their new album. I'm not a big metal fan anymore, but I will check that one out because I do love me some Black Dahlia.
I love Black Dahlia. They're so fun.
Have you heard of Dead Icarus?
Yes. I have.
The vocalist for Atreyu, well, ex-vocalist for Atreyu's band.
Yeah.
So they just dropped a new album. It's actually kind of good. It reminds me of like early 2000s metalcore, like original Atreyu. It's pretty cool.
I think I've heard a song or two from it. I listened to Dead Icarus when he first dropped music.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah. It's way heavier, at least the new stuff. I haven't listened to the old stuff. I didn't even know this was a thing until I guess they just released an album, but it had like super heavy breakdowns and it was it sounded like As I Lay Dying if the choruses had cleans. But just really fast, like double bass through it all, and then like sick breakdown at the end. It sounds like early, like 2000s As I Lay Dying, which is a sound that people don't do anymore, you know?
No, it's true. It's definitely true. I'm just like, if I'm listening to metalcore these days, I want the mouth for war stuff. I want the super heavy, really aggressive. I don't really want clean singing that much, but that's just kind of where I'm at in the moment. I'm just kind of over a lot of the clean singing. It's too much like all the other metalcore stuff going on.
No, I hear that. I mean, I don't even like metalcore, so I blame Fit for a King. Anyways,
they were just at least their vocalist was just in town doing one of those emo nights. He just showed up there. So
sounds about right. Do you have anything else? I got a few more new ones.
Talk to me. What else you got? Well,
So I found this band called Big Ass Truck.
okay.
And it said for fans of 18 wheelers, beef, and like long haul trucking or something like that. But dude, the song I heard was freaking awesome. Just straight up like caveman beatdown stuff, but they're called Big Ass Truck.
The freak.
Are you listening to it?
Yeah, I am.
It's sick, huh?
Like, how did you find these guys, first of all?
The interwebs, where all the good music is.
I'd listen to this.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish I could understand the lyrics because I want to know if it's about trucking.
12 cylinders of FU. That's great.
Yeah, dude. I am behind Big Ass Truck. So I'm gonna be following them closely.
We'll have to
waiting for new
figure out
music.
where these guys are from and everything.
Yeah. Smash Mouth is teasing a new album, and they say it's gonna be a ska album.
Their vocalist died, so maybe they'll get the dude from Goldfinger to come sing for them.
That'd be amazing. Then the last one I had was, have you listened to any of the new Dustin Kensrue stuff that he's dropped?
No, but he's coming through in April, I want to say, and I was looking at tickets for that.
So he's releasing like an alt country album.
Okay.
Which I'm down for right now because I've been listening to a lot of that. I've been listening to a lot of like Tyler Childers and Zach Bryan, stuff like that. And Dustin Kensrue's new stuff is super cool. It's like a modern Willie Nelson sound. It's really, really good.
I love this kind of music. It, yeah. I just listened to it a little bit there. High Scalers is the new song.
You could put Dustin Kensrue farting in a megaphone and I'd freaking listen to it, man. He can do no wrong by me.
Let me ask this. Because this dude farting in a microphone, farting in a megaphone thing, like, there's like 4 or 5 people who we've talked to who have said that. What's up with farting and listening to farts?
I'm just saying, dude, he's so good. All the music that he touches is so good. So,
yeah. No,
his
I love Dustin.
Probably harmonized perfectly too, you know?
I love Dustin. This is like Nick 13 in Tiger Army. Yeah, you get some of that.
But I feel like Dustin's voice fits better because he's got the more gruffy, like.
Yeah, I'm not here to compare vocalists or whatever. I'm talking about just the style of music and the guitars and the background and stuff like that. You got the side guitar. It's Americana style. It's awesome. No, it's super cool. This High Scalers is the single there. And then Death Valley Honeymoon.
Yeah.
It looks like is the other song.
Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe I will.
It was like $35 to go see him, I think. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But listening to that, maybe I will.
I think, we're going to try and go. I think it butts up against either Maylene or The Bled. So I'm kind of on the fence. But my wife's a big Dustin Kensrue fan. So she actually wants to go really bad. So I don't know. We might try and go.
Which I'm going to talk about Dustin as we talk about hot water music. Because there's so much of it that he did way better than they did.
I mean, I don't know that you get necessarily all the influence with Dustin if it wasn't for Chuck Ragan. So, but we can get into that. We can get to that and explain how wrong you are. So,
no, man. Taurus.
Hold on. The last thing I wanted to ask, because last week we talked about Deadlift, right? And they had that rap song in it.
Yeah.
So the guy that did the rap song or whatever was named X something X.
Okay.
What happened to straight edge rappers? I felt like for a few years there in like 2008, there were a bunch and now they're gone. What happened to that?
I vaguely remember what you were talking about, but I never got into it. It was always like Armed for Battle had that rap at the beginning of their song. And it was always just like mixed in to some of the hardcore stuff. But I don't remember the actual like straight edge rappers.
There were though. There was like a dude that was part of like Courage Crew that was pretty big. but I
Oh,
can't
that's
remember his name.
right.
What was his name? I can't remember his
Oh
name.
my gosh, it's gonna
It
bother
was
me
around the
now.
time that like there's that picture with Will Smith and he's hanging out with Courage Crew. Was that real or was that fake?
I think that was real, but from what I understood, his wife,
Oh, because she was in like a metal band, right?
yeah. So I think it was mostly got tied to his wife, and then he just happened to be around.
Hmm.
I think that's what the background of the story is. I can't I can't find
You
it.
know what I'm talking about, though, right? I don't know. I was
I,
just thinking about that today. I was like, man, we need to bring that back because there's like a little bit of a like crossover with rap and hardcore.
mm,
Isn't like Ice Cube? Is it Ice Cube or Ice T? Which I don't remember which one. Not the Go
Ice
Ninja
T,
guy. The other one. Is it Ice T?
yeah,
That's
he's in
Vanilla Ice.
what's his band? Ice
Is
T.
it? It is Ice Cube. Is it Ice Cube?
No, it's Ice T.
No, it is.
It's Body Count.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Ice T. Yeah, he's like huge in the hardcore scene.
metal, right? I mean, I don't know if I'd call him hardcore. Maybe I don't know.
No,
Do you call
he's
him
like
hard-
he's in a like a terror song, isn't he?
That's true. So maybe. And they covered suicidal tendencies.
Oh, dude, I freaking love Suicidal Tendencies.
Did you see Slipknot drummer just joined them, Jay
Yeah,
Weinberg?
I did see that.
So that was some news.
All right.
Which there was three bands. So there was Slipknot, Suicidal Tendencies, and Sepultura, and all three just kind of rotated drummers. Is what it looks like happened.
Seriously.
It was a weird thing that just happened.
Which two out of those three bands are cool?
Sepultura?
And Suicidal. I don't like
Okay.
Slipknot. Maybe they should get me to drum for them.
Well, what would your mask be? What kind of mask are you wearing in Slipknot?
I don't know. Ronald McDonald one or something.
A big purple head like Grimace.
Exactly, dude.
Oh man.
All right. What tours you got coming up? The
Uh,
Newfound Glory Cataclysm 20-year.
Catalyst?
Catalyst. Cataclysm. Been playing a
Cataclysm?
while.
Yeah, no, that
World of
one
Warcraft
looks,
on my brain.
that one looks awesome. But I don't know who the band is who's coming with them. Have you ever heard that band?
No. What are they called? Cataclysm's a cooler name than Catalyst, by the way. So
Yeah, but that's not what the song is, bro. Sincere Engineer. No idea who they are.
this band sucks. I'm gonna be pissed. Why couldn't they just do Shai Hulud playing shows? Why didn't they just be like, hey, we're gonna throw Shai Hulud again?
Dude, how cool would that be? The international superheroes of hardcore.
Yeah.
Halud.
Well, these guys aren't bad. Oh, never mind. They are bad.
This is not a band who I'd like typically listen to. I don't know if I care that they're on the Newfound Glory tour. It seems like it's something that fits along with the style. I wish they would come with something heavier.
Like, why didn't they bring a band from around this time? When was Catalyst released?
Dude, that bothers me, right? Because we just did this with Sticks and Stones. They had such a great opportunity, which I love 4-year. Wasn't it Be Well was the other band? Is that?
Oh, Be Well's so good, though.
It
Oh,
was meh.
dude. Oh, come on.
It was meh.
Be Well is so good.
I think
Plus, the
that's
dude
what it
from Be
was.
Well is like, has been more influential in all these bands that you listen to than like anyone else. So,
I don't care.
just out of respect, you should have been there.
No.
Okay, 2004 Catalyst. What else is in 2004? I don't know, dude. He could have done freaking like Alkaline or something. It'd have been fine. Except I hate Alkaline. Could have done Hot Water Music, and it would have been perfect because they're from the same area, same time, dude. Yeah.
No. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in 2004 that probably would have fit very well with it. But I don't know. Like, I'm kind of getting over these anniversary tours.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on that?
Well, when it's stuff like this and they bring sucky bands like the Bayside tours, chill. They brought all bands that were popular in that time.
See,
Perfect.
I'm good with that. I agree with that. I will go see Bayside Finch, Armor for Sleep all day long. That's a great lineup.
Yeah.
What I'm over is the one band bringing only like one other band who just, like you said, it doesn't really fit with them. Or I don't care to learn a new band to go see 20 Years of Catalyst. I want this to be an old school reminiscing show where it's like singing stuff from early 2000s. Like, yeah,
I agree.
Since you're an engineer, you're probably great. I don't want to see you.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just I'm kind of getting over some of these. Not
Yeah,
every
stuff like that.
album, not every album needs a 20-year anniversary show. Like, let's be
Right.
honest, not everyone does.
But see, like 4 Years Strong, and even the Sticks and Stones tour had better bands. At least for, I would
Yeah.
have killed to see Be Well, and you just can eat a bag. But they had Action Adventure at the Dallas one, and they were super good. So
I would have seen Action Adventure. I love 4 Years, so I'm glad that they were on it. But it was, and Newfound is awesome. I'm curious if Chad will be up for it, like being able to do the whole tour.
he was playing shows when he was going through chemo.
This
So
last round was a bit rough, though.
let him sit down on a chair,
Right? Give him a wheelchair. Wheel him
Yes,
around
no,
the stage.
seriously, let him sit down. No one cares. We just want to see him play. So, American football is doing an anniversary tour, but it's only like 4 places, and 3 of them are Chicago or something like that.
Yeah.
So, do you like American football?
I honestly have not really listened to them. I think I listened to a couple songs and I was like, meh, I'm okay. And then I just never went back.
So, you're not a fan of like the whole Midwest genre?
The one band, and I think you categorize them in this, is the Front Bottoms.
The Front Bottoms.
I do like the Front
Isn't that
Bottoms.
what they call like fat people that have really tight pants?
Come on, bro. You've never heard the Front Bottoms?
No.
I'm a fan of these guys.
Oh yeah, this is pretty Midwest emo-y. I like Mom Jeans.
Yeah, see, like that whole stuff, I'm not super into it. I like the Front Bottoms. I don't know why I latched onto the Front Bottoms. But beyond those guys, no, there's not them.
Typically, I'm not a huge Midwest emo fan, I guess, but I do like American football.
All right.
So.
Yeah, that is not a show I would mark on my calendar. I would see that flyer and not even think twice about it. In all honesty.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's like it's more of a like you just have to be there to expect history type thing, I mean, these guys created a genre. It's like it's to the level for people that like Midwestern emo or just alternative music like that at all. This is like the title fight for them.
Yeah, that's another band, man. Give me an old school title fight and we're good. But okay, I was thinking about this though.
Deserve to get slapped.
I'm kind of over going to shows and just standing around. Like, I'm having fun going to heavy music, hardcore shows again, moshing, moving around, and like all that stuff. I loved seeing Thrice, the artist in the ambulance. I stood there and I watched, and it was fine. But like, I'm done going to shows where you just stand and listen. That's another reason I might not go see Dustin.
It's weird.
As incredible as he is. Yeah.
I don't even have a comment for that. But
all right. Well, that's my opinion right now.
Okay.
So
we're gonna ignore it and move on.
all right.
Weezer is doing a reunion tour for the Blue album.
Again, Blue is an amazing album.
Oh my gosh.
I just man.
Dude. I don't even okay. Incendiary announced that they're playing Furnace Fest.
That's sick. That's dope. So when are we gonna get like a big announcement, right? We're on like 7 bands right now. Roughly 7 or 8.
They have done big announcements.
I'm talking like filling out a schedule, not necessarily big names, but I want to see them drop.
Like
I
multiple
want to see them
bands.
drop like 10 bands.
Yeah.
I kind of want to start to know what's going on. Like
I
these
think a
are cool and
lot.
stuff, but
Yeah,
I
I
want to
think a
see
lot of
who
people,
fills in.
unless this is leading up to like some insane announcement that nobody would have ever,
Yeah,
like
Parkway
Zeppelin's
killing
playing,
with a smile,
like Led
front to
Zeppelin's
back.
headlining. I don't know.
No,
Pink Floyd's
no,
playing.
no one cares anymore about
Minor
that.
Threat.
That'd be insane. But no, give me a Parkway killing with a smile, front to back. Like
That's
that's the
not big
album
enough.
I want.
That's the same level of announcement that they've been making.
I don't know, man. Parkway is starting to elevate themselves beyond. I think that'd be insane.
We should probably actually talk about the band we were going to talk about, huh?
Let's jump into this.
All right. So the band we're going to talk about is Hot Water Music. And if Trevor says a single bad thing about them, I'm leaving forever.
This looks like we're done.
Fine. Bye. I'm just kidding. I just turned my camera off. All right. So started in 1994, played a bunch of shows, had a couple singles. I think they started the band because they were kind of sick of the music that was being played in Gainesville. So they, wanted to change that and started their own band. So they had a couple splits, EPs, and then their first two LPs, Fuel for the Hate Game and Forever Counting. What's funny is this was all from like 1994 to 1998, right? Did you listen to any of their early stuff?
What's Finding the Rhythms? It says that's
That,
95. What is Finding the
yeah,
Rhythms?
that's an album.
It is an album?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah.
That's the first one that I could really find, I think, on streaming.
For some reason, there's debate about what the band's debut album is. Some say it's Fuel for the Hate Game, others say it's Finding the Rhythm or whatever.
Okay.
I don't okay. I need to set kind of the stage here. I have never listened to Hot Water Music. I've listened to like one or two songs total prior to you saying that this was the band that you wanted to do.
So I don't believe that. Because I'm pretty sure we had friends in the shed that we always talk about that were listening to Hot Water Music.
If they were, and that's what was playing, I didn't know it was Hot Water Music.
Okay.
And I didn't pay enough attention to it. I listened to their full discography, front to back, and it all sounded new to me.
I mean, that's kind of cool because they're a sick band, so that's a cool experience.
They're fine. Let's be very clear about this. They are a fine band. And I can totally understand the influence that a lot of other bands that I do listen to have pulled from Hot Water Music, very specifically. That being said, I feel that all those other bands have done it way better than Hot Water Music has done it. And I can probably take a lot of crap from that from Hot Water Music fans. But the first two albums, what was that?
I said there are dozens of us.
I mean, that's what it feels like, right? But Finding the Rhythms is a rough record.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, if you want to just get right down to it, it is a rough record. It's honestly dated.
I don't feel like anything's really worth listening to till Caution. But
okay. I mean, it has its moments and stuff. Like the song Floor. It's a very punk song. And it feels like early Alkaline to me. So Alkaline and Hot Water have done a lot of things together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can totally see why Alkaline followed this pattern after listening to things like Finding the Rhythm and Fuel for the Hate Game.
Yeah.
It feels like early Alkaline. But then you get some like grunge style, and what I was texting you guys is I really dislike the bass tones.
Yeah, but that's just like a production issue from back in the day. It's not because the music's bad.
It's like the actual like bass tones. Like there's other tones that they could have chosen. Have you ever listened to No, because you're a Blink hater. But Carousel by
Yeah, but
Blink.
I've listened to Blink.
Have you? So Carousel by Blink.
I don't know the song name.
Come on, bro. Anyways,
Okay, keep going, keep going.
That bass tone is appropriate to that music, and that's the bass tone that's in this. And it doesn't work for me. And everyone, like, I read a bunch of stuff online, and they applaud so much the rhythm section of Hot Water Music. And don't get me wrong, the bassist is incredible. Once they get to Caution, that album, they adjust the bass tones, and it's good. Until that time,
Yeah,
I don't love it.
you gotta think though, like what's popular, not even popular, but I mean early 90s, dude. Like go listen to old AFI and it's similar. Go listen to all these old punk / hardcore, like traditional hardcore, old school Minor Threat type Gorilla Biscuits. It's gonna sound similar.
Yeah,
I think what's different with Hot Water Music is they, you know, you could argue that this is kind of the starts of like a post-hardcore genre because they do have better rhythms and choruses, and it's not just super fast like old school Blink was and stuff, old school punk, you know?
so do you consider this post-hardcore or do you consider this post-punk?
Post-hardcore. Post-punk to me is like The Cure, and this is not The Cure.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can see the more post-hardcore vibes once you get a little bit later into their discography. This early stuff, it's just, I don't know. I
I
couldn't
mean,
put this amongst post-hardcore.
what they called themselves these first like 2 to 3 albums is like melodic hardcore or melodic punk. Which is when you're getting into old AFI, we're saying the same thing, right?
But like for me, hardcore versus punk makes that difference. Like, the punk influence is what I hear. I don't hear as much of like the hardcore influence.
Okay, but in 1995, that's what it is
Splitting
because it's the same
hairs.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's the
big
same
on
thing.
splitting hairs here, right? So
Yeah. So they had T-shirts back in the day that said like Gainesville hardcore,
really, okay,
and they're very much involved in the hardcore scene. They've
okay,
played like This Is Hardcore. They've played hardcore festivals.
really,
The guitar player just did an interview about their tour coming up, and he's wearing a Terror shirt. Very, very much involved and engaged in the hardcore scene. And I'm sure I didn't find this, and it's my fault for being a terrible journalist because that's what I consider myself now. I don't know much about side projects. If any of them have been involved in hardcore bands, I would not be surprised if somebody came back and was like, yeah, their guitar player was in XYZ hardcore band. You know what I mean?
sure.
So the reason, so I don't even remember exactly like when I found this band. I honestly can't say 100% that it was my brother that introduced me to them. I really don't know. I
Okay.
just know that as a kid, when we would do like road trips with my mom and we would go to my cabin and stuff, there were typically two bands that we were listening to in the car. There was Dropkick Murphys and there was Hot Water Music.
Oh, okay.
And so I have a very like nostalgia hit with this band just because, you know, I wasn't fully into hardcore as I am now. I was still into a lot of punk. This, I know it's very hardcore influence or punk influence, but it still kind of bridged the gap to like more of a traditional hardcore sound for me, right? So
Okay.
that's why I chose this band. I have very fond memories of it. It's also a band that I put on very frequently when I'm like doing stuff at work and just need good music that's like I can just listen to, right?
So where did you start with them?
So the split with Alkaline Trio, I think, is the first.
So they're good album.
I just remember
And only
radio,
the
dude.
first three songs.
Look, look, these guys are way better than Alkaline Trio because one, they're not vampires. Okay. They're normal people. They don't sing about mutilating or cutting people up or garbage like that. So I will 100% take this over Alkaline Trio anytime, any day. So
I mean, literally, if you just took Matt Skiba and put his vocals on top of what Hot Water is doing, I'd probably like Hot Water Music.
But that's
I'm
no
actually
one,
not
dude. No
a
way.
big.
See?
I'm not a big Chuck Ragan fan,
Oh,
and
dude.
this is where we're probably gonna get into the most dispute
Probably.
because his vocalists are huge for me. And I know I listen to a lot of bad vocalists, like let's be honest, a lot of
Matt
those
Skiba?
are nostalgia factor for me. I think that you have a nostalgia factor
Maybe.
for Chuck Ragan because his
I just,
vocals are just meh.
dude, it fits so well though, especially because at this time, like all punk music is Davey Havok, super high toned, high pitched vocals. All of it is.
If you're going punk, but then, and this is where they're kind of
Okay,
bridging like
what
the
post hardcore?
grunge.
What post hardcore? Okay,
I'm
grunge
not.
maybe,
I'm
but
not talking. Yeah.
I don't get as much grunge though.
Oh man, you listen to those first two albums, and there's a lot of grunge in there.
It's way different than it. You can't
Yeah,
compare, this to like Nirvana or
there's
Pearl
a
Jam
lot
or
of grunge
any
in
of that.
there, man.
I don't know. I'll disagree with that. So, all right. Well, okay. So you talked a little bit about finding the rhythms. What did you think about Fuel for the Hate Game?
Yeah, I mean it's better. I think that this album did get better. It's still not great for me, and this is a lot of people consider this like their best album.
Hmm.
At least from what I could read online, I hopped on a bunch of Reddit posts and things like that. They said that Fuel for the Hate Game is the album that set them apart, which at 1996, 7, when this came
7,
out,
I think. Yeah.
sure, maybe this set them apart. Compared to today, it's just, again, it just gets lumped in with other music that's like this.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Yeah,
I'll
go
agree
ahead.
with that, especially because 1996, 1997, I'm like 6 years old, right? So I obviously can't go back and relate to this album like old farts can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these like don't really do much for me. It's cool to listen to because it's cool to see where their sound came from, and it's kind of like the Offspring. It's very reminiscent of the Offspring, right? Where their first few albums, they're important. They had to do it, but it wasn't until like at least Caution that I felt like they started to hit their stride. You know.
And listen, there's good songs on here. Freightliner, Trademark. I think Turnstile was the other one.
Yeah. Freightliner
Like
is really good.
Freightliner's awesome. It's a good song. And here's the thing, and this is what I got to say about these guys. Every single album had stuff that I would listen to. I can't say any of the music is bad. Like I know I'm talking crap right now, but none of the music's bad. I would listen to this music. I wouldn't be disappointed putting this on. Yeah. It's just not what I'm just turning on at first, right? Like the songs are good. Like I said, Freightliner, it's awesome. Trademark, it's awesome, right? But those are 2 songs out of 12, 14, 15, 14, right? 15 songs.
15 songs, yeah.
Yeah. There was like 3 songs on there where I'm like, I would want to listen to that song again. And then the rest of it's just background noise for me.
Yeah. Look, when I texted you guys about Hot Water Music, what did I say? That their first few albums are hard to get through. Yeah. So no arguments there, man. No arguments there. So
I mean, like we can even just, unless you really want to talk about this, the first album after listening to this where I was like, oh man, that one caught me was Caution.
Yeah. Caution
in 2002 was great. So you had No Division, you had A Flight and a Crash. Was there anything else in there?
Well, no, but what I thought was funny was that in like 1997 or something, they go on, or 98, they go on hiatus.
Yeah.
They break up, which it makes me laugh because it's like, man, all the bands we're talking about like haven't even started playing by the time these guys have like released albums and gone on a hiatus. I thought that was funny.
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't know. It's just different times,
so old. Right.
Older people and stuff. So yeah. So then they get back together in like 98, and that's when No Division comes out. It's very similar, I feel like, to at least the Fuel for the Hate Game. Production does start to go up though. Like you see that with every album.
Yeah. They get increasingly better at their sound for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and then after that, it is a flight and a crash. How'd you feel about that one?
You know, so I listened
And
to it.
and did you listen to the normal one or the remaster? How do you feel about that?
Okay. So I will put a caveat. I listened to the remastered because I couldn't stand the first couple albums. So
Okay.
I did listen to the remastered versions. And maybe that was the wrong way to go about it. But when I saw that that was an option, I was like, okay, give me some better production. Like, let's get up on this. Caution caught me so well that like this one I kind of got overlooked. There was a couple
Yeah.
good songs like Jack of All Trade.
Jack of all trades for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. And then what was it?
A flight and a crash, their first song is super good. And you start to feel some of the hardcore influence in that
Yeah.
song too.
Yeah, I think
So-
it was a later song though. Sons and Daughters maybe. Sons and Daughters was another one where it was like later in the album where I was like, "Oh, okay, there's something else to listen to." So, like it's another thing where it's just like there's songs there they catch me. I really like Jack of All Trades, and I think it was Sons and Daughters where I was like, "That's a great song."
Yeah.
And I listened to this. I was doing yard work on Saturday, so I listened to like 4 of their albums as I was doing that. So that's where it started to like bleed a little bit for me too. Is it was just like one after another that I just had rolling through. But dude, like let's talk about Caution because Caution's great.
Caution is great. That album is 2002, and this album, like the next 3 or 4 albums, dude, are just, in my opinion, top notch music. And you can suck it for disagreeing, but this album's super good, and even the non-remastered version is good.
Yeah, and again, I only listened to the remastered, so I'll have to probably go catch this one on the original version of it. But this is my problem though. It sounds like it could be a Thrice album.
What are you talking about?
There are times in here where there's songs that feel like they could have been like what it feels thrice to me. There was times where I'm like, you could have put Dustin's vocals on that, and it would have been a really cool song.
I mean, they have similar vocals. I would be surprised if Thrice doesn't credit Hot Water Music for influence, especially their earlier albums.
Maybe, yeah, I'd be interested to see if they were listening to them at that time. But yeah, I mean, for me, there's a lot of that feel, especially like with Remedy, like that first song.
Dude, Remedy's so good.
Like you can't tell me that doesn't feel like it could have been Thrice.
I mean, it's not as heavy as their older stuff.
It's not. It's not as heavy, but I feel like it could have been. And then Trusty Chords, this is a really good song. But here's the thing, like, as I was listening to this,
This song.
Yeah, I grouped things together. And I'm sure that this was an influence for this band as well, but Ways Away. You know that band? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
It's
dude, I'm listening to, just while you're pulling that up, Trusty Chords right now. Oh, that song's so good.
It's the Stick to Your Guns vocalist. And he did Boy Sets Fire was the drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. When they started kicking in, I've listened to a ton of Ways Away recently because like once we did that Boy Sets Fire episode and I found these guys, I love these guys. And they definitely pulled influence from Hot Water Music, whether they credit them or not. But Trusty Chords feels so much like that. And so like when I was listening to it, I'm like, I like this, but it's because I'm relating it to another band. Yeah. You know?
See, like this album and the ones going forward, it's music to me. Like, I don't know. I've got a playlist called like Dad Rock.
Yeah.
Because it's my version. It's Kyle's version of Dad Rock. And Hot Water Music and like starting with this album is 100% fits this bill.
Yeah.
Because it's like when I'm not in a mood to listen to hardcore, I'm not in a mood to listen to punk. And I'm like, but I still want to listen to like rock, but that's not, you know,
sure.
I don't know, Dave Matthews Band. Like I'm going to listen to, I'm going to listen to this. Like this is my dad rock now. Like these guys, Fiddlehead,
Yeah.
this band called Samium. It's like if I was on a beach, like in California, just chilling, like what am I listening to? This is what I'm listening to. And that's why I like these guys so much.
All right.
And this album, listening to Trusty Chords, is 100% like the type of song I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I've made this joke before, but it's like it's non-hardcore music that as a hardcore kid you don't feel bad about listening to. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Not that you should feel bad about what you listen to, whatever. People can listen to.
I mean, there's some things you should feel bad about, but
That's true. So, okay, so that's Caution, and then after that is the new What Next?
yeah, let's see. This album again.
2004, right? And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
2000.
sure, I'm pretty sure all of these are on Epitaph, or
Wasn't
least the later
Caution the
ones.
first one that went to it?
Might have been actually. So you know what's interesting? I was just pulling this up, but in 2002, they were actually headlining a tour with Thrice and Coheed.
In 2002. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I see Coheed pulling influence from these guys really, but
2003, they're playing AFI, Hot Water Music, Bleeding Through is a big tour that they're on.
yeah, see, and that's crazy. But you hear a lot of the stuff like AFI and stuff definitely pulled from this.
Hot Water Music, Glassjaw, Sparta.
See, and that's the thing. Like, these guys were big.
Alexis on Fire, Moments in Grace.
I don't know why. I don't know why this band is like one that I was just like, meh, I don't care about that. Because a lot of the style and stuff,
Brain Damage,
what we were listening to in 2003, 2004, like this is the style that we were listening to. But again, I was listening to Alkaline, man. Like,
maybe
this
that's
was,
your problem.
I don't have a freaking I don't have a problem.
All right. So what'd you think of the new What Next?
It was good. I honestly though, I got hung up on Caution. And I listened to Caution like 3 times.
Okay.
And so like the new What Next, it was good. But like there's some weird stuff on there. Like All Heads Down is just a weird song. And there was stuff, like it's fine. But there was some stuff where I was just like, it just didn't catch me the same. And so yeah, I don't know. I got stuck on.
Yeah,
Caution.
there's a lot of like small slower songs
Yeah.
on this one that just felt, I agree with that, kind of
Maybe
felt
that's what it
kinda
was.
weird. I'm honestly not a huge fan of this one, especially because coming from Caution into this, I felt like it was a little bit of a letdown. And going into, I believe the next one is Exister.
Yeah, but that was a hiatus, right? So
Yeah,
I actually found an article about this album specifically and the new What's Next. They were saying that Chuck had just moved out to California and they couldn't really find time to like jam together. There was a lot of like internal turmoil in the band. And he's like, it was very much just like a throw together kind of album. It was a weird one.
for the new What Next or Exister?
For the new What Next.
Okay, makes sense. I can hear that.
Well, and then they break up, a year later, 2005, for the third time?
Yeah, must have been right after that Flogging Molly tour. I think that's when I saw him, to be honest with you. I think that would have been the first time I saw him because my mom's a huge Flogging Molly fan too.
Because Flogging Molly's the best.
No, they suck compared to Dropkick. We're just going to fight this whole episode. So what else did they break up for? Do you have anything else on that?
I mean, basically it was just, I don't have a ton on that, right? I didn't do a lot of digging into it, but there was just internal turmoil. The records weren't turning out how they wanted them to. People were moving to different states and it was hard for them to practice and stuff. and it just seemed like everyone was starting to do different things. So they broke up, right?
You say quote unquote broke up because they were still playing shows. It wasn't a lot, but they were still playing the occasional show through all
Right.
that. So
Exactly. And it's funny because he said they don't even remember. It was like the second or third time they broke up. Like they don't really remember how many times they'd broken up to this point. But they've taken breaks on and off throughout their entire history.
Even at this point, dude, like what are we, 2004? They're 10 years in. Like
It's
that's
on
10
the
years.
third breakup.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that's 10 years. Like take a break. It's cool.
But here's the thing: is it's always when they come back, it's still the same four guys. Like it's actually incredible. They've used the same four guys throughout their entire career. Yep. So they might hate each other from time to time, but always work it out some way.
Did you listen to Chuck Ragan's solo stuff?
No. Oh, God, I'm not
good.
Not a fan of his vocals, man. I will listen to it. I'll try it.
No, I don't want you to now. Don't listen to it.
I know you're a fan, so I will give it a try. But yeah,
that's true.
Chuck Ragan's vocals is the worst part of hot water music for me.
That's freaking the worst take you've ever had. I've had that's worse than any takes that I've had. So
listen, man, I can take all the crap that people want to throw my way. I don't care. Like his vocals they're a bit rough.
They're so
and good. The times that he doesn't go over, he doesn't overexert himself, they're actually okay. It's when he starts to really project and really try to almost yell that it loses me.
Dude, I really like the rough vocals. I think it's awesome. So, and his acoustic stuff's really cool with it too. But since you don't like good music, you're not gonna like it. All right, 2012 Exister, probably my favorite album. I think I'll just go ahead and say it. I think this is my favorite album.
Yeah.
Drag My Body is the best song they've put out. And
I was just going to say, that's probably my favorite song they've released. It is a great, great song.
It's so good.
That version of Chuck Ragan's vocals are okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't sound any different. And he still does the little yelling stuff that you're talking about.
That's the worst part of it, right? It's everything leading up to it, but
yeah, dude, Drag My Body is the chorus on it, because again, it's dad rock, so I'm just I would fist pump, and I'm gonna see them in May. I'm gonna sit there and just fist pump, dude. You know,
you're gonna stand there with your arms folded and you're gonna bob your head.
Exactly. I'm gonna head bob really hard to these guys. All right.
Yeah.
State of Grace.
Yeah. So I just picked up my daughter from dance, and I was listening to this album while I was picking her up, and we get in there, and she's like, "What's this song?" I'm like, "State of Grace," and she's like, "That's a name sometimes." I'm like, "Yeah, we got a cousin Grace."
Oh.
So
now she's gonna love hot water music forever.
It's a fine song.
Mainline, really good.
Mainline was good, but Drag My Body, that was definitely the song that was it's a really, really good song. I do like that one.
The song Exister is top notch too. It's a lot faster. Not a lot of the slow parts. So this album was good because it did vary, but it didn't vary as much as the other ones where you're like, this is weird.
Yeah. The other song that caught me was The Traps, where they have that kind of gang backing vocals in there. I really like that. It felt AFI-ish. New that could have been new AFI style. You know what I mean?
Or newer Dropkick.
Sure, yeah. It's a good song. This is a good album. Caution is definitely my favorite, but Existers, it's up there. And it's kind of funny because I don't think it was super well received from what I could tell. I think that people thought it was fine. They didn't love it coming back from the break. So, I don't know.
It's crazy because it's Legit.
So what they said about this one. So basically, I found an article where their bass player was ranking their albums, and he talks about what was going on with the bands at the time and everything. So this one, he said it was weird because they couldn't all get together, and technology still wasn't to the point where they were sending like demos to each other.
Yeah.
So they would do it in groups of 3. They would do it with either Chuck or either George, and then the bass player and the drummer. And so they would like groups of 3 and then try like take turns. And then they all got together for like 4 or 5 days right before they actually recorded and practiced for 4 or 5 days together. Like that's how this album came together. So it was just like a logistics nightmare, and they didn't love how that all happened. And so he actually has this album down pretty far. This is only through this article came out in 2015. So we don't have the last couple albums. But he has this like number 5 of 7, I think. So he wasn't overly impressed with it.
Yeah. So the next album, 2017, Light It Up. This is probably my second, this one and the next one are probably tied for my second. I'm not sure which one I like more, but I really do like Light It Up. I think it's a great album. This was, oddly enough, released on Rise.
So was Exister.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. I mean, it's
interesting that Rise would, I guess 2017, we've missed all the Rise Core stuff, so.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Rise has gone away from Rise Core. I mean, they still have some of those bands, but now they're just collecting bigger names.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they end up with Hot Water Music. Who else put? There was another big band that put stuff out with Rise. Can't remember off the top of my head. But it was a really weird grouping because it's totally away from what you would consider like Rise Core bands.
For sure.
And so I think that Rise got to the point where they were big enough where they could just start throwing money at some of these bands and bring them over to the label. And it's good.
It'd be interesting to like be in the room with Rise and 50-year-old Chuck Ragan and them being like, them trying to tell him what to do for music. And he'd just be like, no, I've been doing this longer than you guys have been alive.
Yeah, it's super weird, right? Oh, was it? No, that can't be right. It says AFI's on Rise, but I don't think so. Chuck Ragan's listed as one of their actual artists.
Oh, I didn't know his solo stuff was on there. That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's curious. So both Exister, Light It Up. I don't know about Fill the Void. Is Fill the Void? No, Fill the Void's Equal Vision. Yeah. So two releases through Rise, it looks like. And I feel like both albums, they just sound similar to me.
They're good, though.
Yeah, they're not bad. Like, Exister was better, in my opinion. But, yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of the song Vultures on this album. Complicated's really good. Light It Up was kind of a fun song off of the Light It Up album. Feels more like an old school punk song.
Yeah.
Like something you'd listen to on Tony Hawk.
See, like, a lot of this stuff feels like current AFI to me.
It's way faster than current AFI.
I don't know. I just this was my problem with this band is I related it all to other bands. And so, you know, I think that my problem was I didn't have big enough history with these guys.
So what's funny is I think you can go back to the Alkaline Trio episode and you and I have flipped roles.
Yeah.
And it's just some of these bands hit it off for us and some of them don't. Because to me, going back and listening to Alkaline Trio, I couldn't tell any of their albums apart.
Yeah. And like,
listening to Hot Water Music, I'm like, yeah, I can tell them apart. And like, I'm glad they all sound the same because I like it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a good sound to me. So keep making the music they're making.
And I mean, that was literally my take on Alkaline, right? Like the last Alkaline Trio album that came out. It's like that's what it is, right? It is a Alkaline Trio album.
So
That's
the
how I feel
difference
about Hot
is
Water Music.
you like bands that sound like that are vampires.
Okay,
You probably still listen
listen.
to
That's fine.
Alisana and stuff
No,
like that.
never was a
Aiden.
big Alisana fan. Aiden, I'll throw some Aiden on.
Yeah.
Give me the last. I'll listen to the last Sunrise, man.
Yeah. And see, I like these types of bands that the guy actually sounds like a guy. So
That's just it's just dumb words coming out of your mouth right now.
All right. Fill the Void 2022. Switch to Equal Vision.
Yeah.
This is my second favorite album, not the other one. It's this one.
Okay. Why?
Another Breath is awesome. I don't know. I just feel like at this point it's so refined, the sound that they're doing, that all the songs are just super good. I think it's consistently a better album. Like Another Breath, dude, is so good. Killing Time is way good. I love the chorus.
But see, like that's what I'm talking about. Like the chorus or I don't know if it's the chorus, but there's that part in there where it slows down. And it's like the da 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 da. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
It's Thrice. That is freaking Thrice all day long. And so, like, Fill the Void, it was a good album. It was a great album, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like this probably, in my opinion, was Chuck's best vocals. I thought that the production on this, I thought that the vocal, how it all came together, I thought that it was really, really good. It is a good album. Like you said, Killing Time, great song. Another Breath. Their opening songs are usually really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Collect Your Things and Run. Solid song. He does a little higher tone, I feel like, with his vocals. You'd probably like that one a little more since you like that.
Yeah, I do. Listen, there's like a kind of poppier song towards the end called The Weeds and stuff. Like, I really like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, listening to this song where they do the like hi-hat.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I just sit here and just like, this is what I'm doing while I'm working, listening to this. It's perfect music, man. It's perfect.
I did like it. Listen, and like I said, I think that my problem is I just don't have the history with them.
Yeah.
Like I really think that that's what it boils down to, because the music, a lot of it's good. Like we'll start at Caution. I'll go like Caution forward, and I'll be pretty happy. Those first couple albums, they've got a couple songs here and there, but there was a lot of stuff I did not enjoy in those first few albums. But Caution On, you could probably just turn it on, and I'd be good. I'd be fine. You know?
Yeah. I think that my playlist that I have it only has Caution and On too. So
you're not a true fan.
I'm a true fan because I actually listen to them. But it's just for my dad rock playlist, I just need music that I can just sit there and listen to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And hearing stuff from 1992 that sounds like they recorded in tin cans, I like it, but I can't just sit there and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Listen, overall, I'd give these guys a solid like 6, maybe 7. Maybe 7.
Okay, 7. A 7 is a fair assessment for you, but I'll give them a solid 6. It's way lower.
6 to 7. That's how I feel about this band. Like, it's a band who I like the music. I like a lot of the stuff that they do, and I would listen to it. But even now, I don't think they're going to crack the regular rotation for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple songs that I'd probably throw on, and I might actually go through, and I'm not a playlist guy, but I might pick like 12 songs of just hot water music and like those and put them into a little hot water music playlist kind of thing. But like just the overallness of them,
Yeah. I mean, I hate you and I'll probably never talk to you again, but
I know.
Just kidding.
That's fine.
So they've got 2 new songs out. There's an album coming out this year. I think I heard that they're going to have some guest vocals from like Turnstile and a couple other bands like that. And then they're on tour or it's starting soon and they're playing with Quick Sync. Quicksand, NSYNC. I'm just kidding. It's Quicksand. It's because their like Instagram handle is Q Sync. Well,
Oh,
it's
really?
Q. Yeah, but it's Q NYC, so I always call it like Q Sync, like
Oh,
instead of
okay.
NSYNC. But yeah, so it's Quicksand and Off with Their Heads, which is like an
Okay.
old school like punk band too. So I'm super excited to see him. I've got a friend down here that he's like 10 years older than me, and he's gonna go with me because he's a huge Hot Water Music fan. His favorite band is Thursday, so you can kind of see where the overlap is, right?
Yeah, for sure. And
So
listen, the
we're gonna
new
go hit that up.
songs, I like Menace. Burn
Menace is
Forever
really
is
good.
okay.
I agree.
Yeah, it's only okay. But Menace was a really good song. So it'd be interesting to see what this new music sounds like. If it came out and the majority of it sounded like Fill the Void, it's an album I'd probably listen to,
Yeah.
you know? So we'll have
And
to
then
see.
he did just drop some singles for his like solo stuff. He did one called Echo the Halls, which I think is a freaking dope song. So you should check that out. But I don't know, man. It's one of those bands that I have fond memories of, and then I kind of lost. And then as I've gotten older, it's just such an easy band for me to listen to. And
Okay.
it's just one of those bands that I wanted to talk about because I do feel like it influenced me a little bit on, you know, music that was kind of outside of the norm for what we listen to, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure. And listen, I was not disappointed listening to it. It was
Good.
a lot of music. It was a lot of music.
Well,
How
to
many
be
albums did
honest,
we go through? 10?
yeah, dude, it's a lot. To be honest, though, I feel like after the last episode with the Bled, we were getting kind of chummy with each other because we were all agreeing too much. So
Listen,
I was
man,
like,
I can turn that on a dime in a second. There's all sorts of bands we could talk about.
I know. I'm sure there's a ton that we all could pick, and we have picked. So I don't know. It's a cool band. I'm excited to see him. So yeah, that's all I got.
Sweet. No, it was good stuff. So I don't know what we're gonna do next week. I don't know. I think it's back to me. Is it back to
Well,
me?
next week I think are we doing locals?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see
It
what
is
Josh is.
it is your turn next. So, but I am
So
also
maybe I will do something that's just like you guys are gonna murder me kind of thing.
yeah.
No, honestly, like I was thinking maybe like a Haste the Day or something
Ooh.
like that. I think that would be really dope. But there's a couple of bands who I've been kind of thinking over and mulling over that I'll have to kind of pick through. So, but we'll
Yeah.
talk to Josh. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll throw it out there. So
So cool. Well,
sweet.
let us know what you guys think of Hot Water Music, and you guys can all flame Trevor online for his opinions of this
Listen,
band.
I will take it. Honestly, like if people really do have like strong opinions about this, I am curious. Tell me why this band is so good. Tell me some of the history behind it. Tell me why Chuck Ragan has the voice of an angel and doesn't sound like he's gargling rocks. Kind of thing. Like, tell me something that makes me want to listen to these guys more because the music's fine. I just have nothing to latch on to. So
Yeah, I got
tell
something
me
you can
why I'm
latch on
wrong.
to.
These nuts.
Dude, have you heard of Take a Look Cat?
What?
Take a look at these nuts.
All right. Goodbye.
All right.